We just told you about the Journal News newspaper responding to the recent backlash for publishing the names and addresses of gun permit owners. The paper's president, Janet Hassan, said this. It reads, quote, "We believe the law is clear that this is public information and the residents of Putnam County are entitled to see it. We're troubled that county officials apparently have switched their position since we first requested the information." But now even former criminals are saying that data released could be highly useful to thieves. Former NYPD Detective Harry Houck joins us with insights as to why this information could be dangerous. Harry, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
What's the point of releasing this, do you think?
Well, I think it's basically for their own political agenda. They're definitely anti-gun media.
Yeah.
So therefore, I guess if they think that they can release this information and give the names or the addresses of these people, that they could shame these people into actually being gun owners.
But aren't these exactly the people you shouldn't worry about? I mean, these are people who went through every legal step to register these firearms. They jumped through a bunch of hoops to own these guns legally. Are they really the ones we should be worried about?
No, you shouldn't be worried about these people. You know, you're worried about the typical bad guy out there with a gun, all right? But because what happened in Connecticut, I think what they're going to do now is they're going to use this, all right, to further their own agenda. So therefore, they're going to try and demagogue legitimate gun owners in this country.
Yeah. So this seems like a disincentive to registering your firearms. If I buy a gun in New York and I'm thinking, I guess I should register this, and I see the Journal News releasing the names of people who do, it makes me not want to follow the law.
Yeah, well, you know, it might be, but then again, you know, you're breaking the law. So you want to be a legitimate, law-abiding citizen, so you're going to follow the law, okay? But what this is going to do is, this is going to make these people targets to criminals. Listen, I was a cop on the street in New York City for 26 years, okay? Bad guys are not afraid to go to a home where there's a gun. You know, when I was in my prime, 6'4", 225 pounds, solid, the bad guys weren't afraid of me. So they're not going to be afraid of some civilian in their home who's not even trained like I was. You know, the amount of money that a bad guy can get on the street, all right, is a lot of incentive for him. All right, so instead of going down south and buying guns at a gun show, all right, I've got a whole list of names and addresses where there's guns now. So I'm going to hit those locations and I'll be able to go and get those guns and then sell them on the street.
Now, why in the world would the county give this information to the newspaper?
Well, you know, I'm hearing that this is completely legal to do, you know, but it's a complete disregard for the lives of these people and their families. Can you imagine, right, if you're a working family, all right, the mother and father are away at work during the day, all right, a burglar comes into the house, they can't find the gun, so they decide, let's wait till somebody comes home, all right? Now, your child comes home from school early and's got a key to the house, goes in and is surprised by a burglar, who then confronts that child to where the gun is in the house. I mean, something very terrible could happen here, and I hope this newspaper is very well aware of that, because somebody can actually be killed or seriously injured as a result of their actions.
How do you think the publisher and editors of this newspaper would feel if their addresses were published?
Well, I think they wouldn't like it at all, and that's what I think the NRA should do. All right, I think the NRA should publish their names and their addresses in their monthly magazine so they can feel exactly what it's like, you know, to have that information put out there.
You think they'd like it?
They'd hate it.
Of course they would. That's the best idea I've heard all day. Harry Houck, NYPD, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
The streets are packed.